Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. So I did decide finally to, or I finally did decide to do one more YouTube video tonight since I'm not tired yet and I did get all my homework done already. Last night I was actually really tired yesterday, I guess because I spent the whole day doing homework and I felt like really burnt out afterwards. So I decided to just lay in bed in the dark and just watch Disney Plus for a couple of hours. It was kind of nice. I watched the Wind in the Willows and the Legend of Sleepy Hollow for the first time in years, and I started theorizing that the bully in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow is the um, whatever you call it. Oh my word, why can I not remember the Headless Horseman? Duh, I should have remembered that. I just happened to just stare off at outer space for a second. I'm like, why don't I remember? And I felt like bad that I was doing that on camera. But anyway, I do that a lot. I've noticed. It just suddenly my mind just goes. But I guess otherwise I can sorry, I don't know what happened there. I have Messenger on that comes up on my screen, and sometimes I stop to read about that. I start thinking about. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm YouTubing. I notice I do that a lot when I'm YouTubing. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about um what I like better, Disney or Universal. So I was working out earlier this week, and I started thinking about that particular topic. And it got me thinking, like, I kind of want to do a YouTube video on that. So I thought about it, and I decided, well, that's what I'm going to do. Well, as a kid, I literally grew up going to Walt Disney World my whole life. Never been to Disneyland, but I really want to go to Disneyland one day. I know the Tim Tracker goes all of the time, but that's because he has a good job and he makes good money. I'm happy for him, but I personally don't have that luxury. And if I do go out to California one day, um, I would absolutely have to go see my good friend Brian that you saw in my Kings Island hot vlog, which I finally did add that to my Kings Island playlist. I was like, what? I wasn't there yet. But there's a lot of things I would like to do. I haven't done a cruise in a long time. That's something that TJ and I have been talking about for quite some time now. And I haven't even gotten around to having him look and book us a cruise or whatever. I guess we just haven't been thinking about it. But, it is getting to that time. We're thinking about doing a road trip in 2024. So, I mean, we definitely do a lot of thinking about like what we're gonna do and all that kind of fun stuff. But Walt Disney World, I literally grew up going to my whole life. My dad used to work for Walt Disney World. He started at the Magic Kingdom as a ride operator, and then he went over the resorts and he worked at conventions and stuff like that. Then he went over to Epcot. He worked at the China show. He was doing like the audio and stuff like that. And then he started operating the camera for the Food and Wine Festival and the Flower and Garden Festival. He met really famous chefs like Gordon Ramsay, which is really, really cool. And he got some really good recipes like a cake called root beer bunny cake, and it's not what you think it is. You would think, ew, why would I want a root beer tasted or flavored cake? No, it's not a root beer flavored cake. It's actually a cake that has root beer for moistening to keep it moist, but it's actually a Death by Chocolate cake. It's the richest chocolate cake I've ever made, and my dad's the only one that I know of that's ever made it, and he makes it he does a really good job on it. He had other recipes that he had on his computer. I don't even know if he has those recipes anymore, but I thought that was really cool. And then he went over to Animal Kingdom shortly after that, where he worked at the Pocahontas show. Then he was over at the Festival of the Lion King, then Finding Nemo the musical, and Flights of Wonder. And he was doing that for years. And then he eventually became a crew chief, which is basically a coordinator of some sort. He had his own office, he had a desk, he got to drive the company vehicle. It was kind of cool. he was making good money. I was really happy for him. He had a lot of things going for him, and he's done a really good job in his lifetime. And just to give you guys an idea of how long he's been with Walt Disney for, I'll just basically tell you the very first attraction that I know of that he was part of. He was on the opening or part of the opening team for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Now, how cool is that? I'm talking about the one at Magic Kingdom that's now Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and was originally Pooh's Playful Spot, but before that it was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Um, I'm not going to show you guys the picture or anything because that would ruin Disney magic, but yes, they did stand in front of one of the submarines from the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride, and I thought that was so cool that he got to be part of that. But anyway, he did eventually go over to Hollywood Studios where he worked at the Voyage of the Little Mermaid. He got to work with the puppets and stuff like that. I'm not going to tell you anything about the Ursula that comes out because I don't want to ruin the Disney magic for anybody. But I thought that was really cool that he got to be part of that. Eventually, he retired and he came to work for Answers in Genesis. Currently, he is looking for another job, but I'm extremely happy that he got to do all that cool stuff at Disney, and it's because of the fact that my dad got to work at Disney and he got me in for free all of those years that I even fell in love with the company just in general. And it was just such a cool place to go to. And my dad has helped out so many people over the years get into Disney. I feel like this YouTube video is more about my dad, but I promise it's not. I just wanted to give you guys the idea of why I love Disney so much because it reminds me of my dad and just all the years that our me and my family have gone there, and my brother and I have a very special memory, I guess you could say, of Walt Disney World. My brother and I have probably the best time of all the people I go to Disney with on a regular basis. I would say, or just go to Disney with in general. I would say my brother is my favorite by far. My brother and I just, not only is he my closest friend, but also he was just that person that I could go to Disney with and just really, really enjoy it every single time. And it just felt more special, if that makes any sense. But, those days for the most part are over. My brother did get to go with me to Disney last year, and I'm going this year by myself. I will admit that the reason why we're not really doing Disney this trip, I feel like TJ kind of goes through phases about what he likes and dislikes. So, and of course, the whole reason for me going by myself to Florida is to spend time with him, do what he wants. So, the nice thing about when I go by myself, I feel like we can do more stuff that he likes, but we can still do stuff that I like too. And yes, of course, we're going to spend time at Disney. TJ and I used to work at Disney together. My dad actually was the one that encouraged me to work for Disney. And you can learn all about that on my Life as a Working Disney Cast Member vlog. Or series, I should say, sorry. So I would encourage you guys sometime to watch that. And then, of course, Universal. I didn't overly like it as a kid, I will admit it. I was kind of like, I didn't honestly come around to truly appreciating Universal until 2016. So 6 years ago almost. We're going to go 5 right now. That means I was 23 at the time. That's the common age to truly start appreciating Universal. I mean, I've loved Disney for 28 years. I mean, I was literally a month or two old, so to speak. I'm going to go off around that vicinity when I first went to Epcot. And I have a picture of myself in a diaper on Living at the Land. So that just proves something right there. And I was like really young at the time. I mean, I wasn't even a year old yet, and I was already going to Disney World. So, I mean, you can understand why I like Disney World so much. And just the fact that, it's so cool having a family member that worked there and got to do all those cool things. And Universal, I used to be Universal pass holder. I have a cousin that's a manager at Universal, and he's been really cool, and he's been donating money to the company, and they reward him with a free pass. And what he would do was he would give it to me, so that way he didn't have to keep giving out all of his tickets every single time I wanted to go, and that way I could go whenever I wanted. Now, ever since I moved away, I gave up the pass. I kept the last one for memory's sake because I really like to remember that I used to be Universal Pass holder because it was a part of me. And I still ask him for tickets every single year, and he's really cool about it. And in fact, last year, he even asked me, "Do you want to go another day? I have enough tickets to let you go another day." And he let me stay at his place, me and my brother, and he was really good to us. He is such a cool guy. I mean, and it's not just because of the fact that he got us into Universal. I mean, that's a really cool thing, but it's just, I see more of him than that. I see the fact that my cousin not only has a cool job, but just like my dad, they both care, they both understand, they both know what's best for me and what's not best for me. They all want me to be happy. They both have been to every single graduation. They both attended both my brother and my high school graduations and both of our college graduations. I mean, my cousin literally would drive from forever. He was the only one from my dad's sister's side of the family that would ever come, if that says anything. He is a really cool guy. We have gotten along our whole lives. And not to mention he's good looking. I'm not saying I'm gay or anything. I'm just saying he is a good looking guy. I mean, if I kept myself clean shaven more often, I kept this weight down, and if I have a short haircut, I don't look too bad myself, though. I wouldn't say I'm still the most attractive guy either, but you know. But, as a side note there. But what specifically do I like about Disney and Universal? Now that you guys kind of understand the background between or behind why I like Disney and Universal so much. Well, Disney, I love the fact that you come into their property and you feel like you're in a completely different world. I That's honestly the best way to put it because of the fact that you enter and there's Disney buses everywhere. There's signs that pointing to all their resorts and their parks. And I really love the fact that you have to drive so long just to get to the Magic Kingdom, and you finally get, like, let's just go to the Magic Kingdom for crying out loud. And you get to the Magic Kingdom parking, and they have the beautiful sign. This is Welcome to the Magic Kingdom, and you go through and you pass by what used to be the Richard Petty driving experience, which used to be a famous NASCAR driver, and you get to either park in villains or heroes. You get to see the monorail going by. And then you get out of your car and you head towards the tram, assuming it's still running. I mean, let's pray and hope that COVID has, finally run its course and that things are starting to go back to normal again. CDC finally did recognize natural immunity. About time, guys. Where have you been for the past 2 years? But anyway, then once you do get on the tram and you get over there, you have to go through security, and there's all this excitement. You see more monorails rolling, and then you see the boat, and then you can see Cinderella's castle and the Magic Kingdom off in the distance, and you're just like, and you see the Contemporary Resort, the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian. Personally, I'm going to go with my former friend Christina's advice. If you've never been to the Magic Kingdom in your life, the best way to truly enjoy going to the Magic Kingdom is to go on the ferry boat. And you know what? I actually went with her advice and I got on the ferry boat. Even though it seems to take a little longer to get there, I feel like there's a reason for that. It's because of the fact that it builds up that anticipation. So the next time you get on the Magic Kingdom ferry boat, you're just going down Bay Lake, and You get to appreciate the other boats going down or hanging around the water. TJ took me all the way to Bay Lake on a pontoon boat one time. We had to stay away from the ferry boats, but there was no way I was going to be driving any boat on Bay Lake, that's for sure. I was like, oh no, I'm not that experienced. I might crash into one of the ferry boats and make us sink and then get Disney to sue me, so yeah, not happening. Sorry, my legs are starting to cramp. And it's also so cool watching the resorts pass by, and you get to really truly see how big Disney is, and it's so cool seeing Magic Kingdom getting closer and closer and closer, and then next thing you know, you're there and you're getting off the boat, you're about to scan your ticket, and then you just go in. And I mean, you can see the Magic Kingdom right there behind me, and you stop here, and then you literally have all of this to explore. Now, this is a original map from 1971, but I mean, just think about that. There's just so much there. I'm sure 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is somewhere around there. I can tell that the other ferry boat is back here somewhere, so I'm assuming 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is here, if I'm not mistaken. Or that's Jungle Cruise, so if it's not there, then it's got to be over here somewhere. Nope, nope, there it is. That's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's the ride that my dad operated back in the day. I think that is so cool. That's an open day attraction. However, though, my dad did not start at Disney until the early 90s. Yeah, I just suddenly remember. That's right. This is an original map of the Magic Kingdom right behind me. And over there is an original map of Disneyland. I think you can tell my dad likes Disney, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I know there's going to be Universal people are going to be like, boo, boo Disney, and I'm going to be like, well, that's your prerogative. You don't have to like Disney. I mean, I personally love Disney. I've had so many good memories. I mean, I just wanted to give you that example about what excites me about going to Disney, like just the whole going into Magic Kingdom excitement, and then there's all those memories. I can't even tell you or begin to tell you all the cool memories that I've had at Disney over the years. I'll just give you guys an example. A number of years ago, my parents took me to Balma. It's at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was my birthday, so I got off of work or whatever, and they drove me a clear hour just to take me out for my birthday dinner. Like, how cool is that? And we got there, and they had this bag on the side for me. I remember going to the restroom to change out of my clothes. I remember my brother was there, and it was the first time I had ever been to that buffet, period. It was such a cool experience. And my parents finally let me open what was in the bag, and I pulled this thing that I'm using out of it, and I was like, wow. I mean, this thing is still state of the art for something I received a few years ago or so. And I admit I don't always use it for school because it's tough sitting or laying on a bed doing schoolwork for hours often, but this thing has saved my life with YouTube, and this is what I use for all of my home vlogs. This is how I get all my videos edited for my at-home vlogs. Also, if you're wondering how I edit my YouTube videos, what I usually do is if I vlog with my phone, I videotape everything, then I edit it with WeVideo. That's why I have the watermark in the upper right hand corner. I can't be bothered to pay the money for to get the watermark removed or whatever. And then once it's uploaded to YouTube, I get on my laptop and I put in a description. I choose a custom thumbnail. Then I add on my YouTube logo. I add on the most recent video I posted, as well as Mr. B's YouTube channel because he's my favorite YouTuber. I literally watch almost all of his videos. It's insane. So that's why I advertise for him. I used to do it for the Tim Tracker, but I've decided to kind of start doing my own thing. It's like, you know what, this is my YouTube channel, and I want everybody to see the real David Dunbar on YouTube. When I'm at work, I may not always be myself, but when I'm on YouTube, I'm being 100% genuine. This is what I'm really like. I mean, I can't always tell everybody what's going on in my personal life because some things just should not be shared on the internet. But anyway, another thing that I have personally always loved about going to Disney World is the fact that my family got me into, well, when I, you know what I mean, like my parents, my brother got me into really enjoying going to play miniature golf at Walt Disney World. They used to take me to Winter Summerland, for years upon years, and then we started going to Fantasia Gardens. One time I went to Fantasia Gardens with my parents, and there was a black racer on the golf course, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm out. I'm done. This is not happening. There's no way I'm playing golf with a snake. I'm sorry. I went to the other side. The snake's not going to find me over there anyway." I mean, my parents said, "Well, it's as long as you don't bother." It's like, you really think I'm gonna go play golf with a snake? And they didn't argue with me, so we waited a good half an hour just to go play Fantasia Gardens. But hey, it's the better course anyway. And my brother agreed with me, so they couldn't exactly argue. If it was just me, they might have ignored me, because I tend to talk a lot, but I usually will put up with it anyway. But if my brother gets involved, then you know it's more serious. It's like, oh, okay, fine. And it's because I love that tradition so much of going to Walt Disney World to go play miniature golf that every single year I go to Central Florida, I always arrange a day to go play miniature golf with TJ. And this time I'm bringing Kay along. I'll make sure she knows that. And then we go to Disney Springs together. I believe I let her go last year, but I'll just make sure she knows she can go again this year. And yeah, we literally that's all we do all day. We just go do play some miniature golf, and we go to Disney Springs. That's all we do on my last day. I think it's honestly a good way to end the vacation. It's just kind of cool. It's kind of relaxing. You don't want to do anything too crazy. And you don't really want to be in the theme parks either. Like, at that point, I'm kind of theme parked out anyway. I've been going from one theme park to the next for the past several days. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done. But anyway, another thing that I really loved about going to Disney World, at least with TJ anyway, TJ and I discovered how close Cece's was when we were working at Walt Disney World. TJ and I discovered that we have, with our blue company ID, we could get 50% off at Cece's. Well, we uh, found there was a Cece's off of Sherburne Road. And if I remember correctly, the very first time we went there, we found out how cheap it was, and we decided right then and there, this is what we're going to do from this point on. It made more sense. We had no problem driving off of Disney property and eating at Cece's for dinner. I mean, I'm not even kidding. On Saturday, we're gonna be, actually no, Saturday. I meant Monday. Monday on his birthday for lunch, we're talking about going to that same Cece's. Because TJ and I know is right there. So we're like, what's the point of spending the money in the park on, food for the convenience when you can just easily go back to your car and drive over there? Sure, it's a bit of a hassle, but trust me, in the long run, it saves a lot of money. And the kids love pizza anyway. And they're not going to really notice if it's crappy pizza or not. And TJ and I already ruined our taste buds years ago, so we don't really care what we put on our stomachs. I know that's not a good thing to say, but anyway, I like to say that word a lot anyway. I always loved going to Blizzard Beach too. That's another reason why I love going to Disney World. I always loved going to the water park. Usually what I do when I go to Blizzard Beach is it's if you guys are not familiar, Blizzard Beach, it's a water park that supposedly was hit by a freak snowstorm, then turned into a ski resort, and then a heat wave suddenly came through and melted it and became Blizzard Beach, and that's the legend behind it. And Disney opened that like years ago. It's actually newer than Typhoon Lagoon. I looked it up myself. Though Blizzard Beach is a really cool water park, so when we go there, we usually like it doesn't matter who I go with. Normally, what I do is I go right for the chairlift, and the reason why is because I go all the way up to Mount Gushmore, and I normally will start with the Family River Raft ride, hands down. That's just my first go to. I know it's like what not Summit Plummet? Oh, don't worry, I get there. But I like to do things with everybody else. So I go on the Family River Raft ride. This is a really cool one because it can hold up to like 6 to 8 people, and it has a lot of turns and curves, and it's kind of cool riding from one side to the other. And at one part, you actually go backwards into the water. It's a very enjoyable ride. And then, of course, I go to Summit Plummet. For those of you who are not familiar with Summit Plummet, it's literally a 6 story or something like that, 120-foot drop to be specific, to the very bottom. I usually hit about 30 miles per hour ish, somewhere around there. So it literally goes straight down like that. Like that. And I do it like it's nothing. I will literally get to the top. You're literally looking at from 120 feet high. You can see a lot from up there. And I literally just go, and I push myself to the side. I cross my arms, cross my legs, and down I go. It literally is over within 5 seconds. When I first saw it years ago, I was terrified. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get on that. Nope, nope, nope. And then I'll usually go over to the other side of the wave pool, then I'll finally go to the very back and then work my way back up front again. And I stop for lunch at some point at Avalanche. I mean, that's just the kind of things that I enjoy doing. I admit that sometimes I do miss the easy days, which is what I call the good old days. The days when I would just work and then I go play at the theme park all day long. Or I work and then I spend my day off at the theme park or something. Those were just days I absolutely loved, but you know what? Can't spend forever in fairy tale land. I'm not going to grow as a Christian that way, that's for sure. But that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy it from time to time. And I'm sure nobody would disagree with me on that one. As long as I'm not living like that ever again. Am I literally, or am I really learning to grow in my faith? Grow as a Christian by spending every single day playing around at a theme park or working next door to a theme park. I mean, technically, what I'm working in is an attraction, though it's designed to point people to Jesus Christ, and that's why I love it so much. Was Disney necessarily pointing people to Jesus Christ? Mm-mm. I get tongue tied easily. I'll talk about one more Disney thing that I absolutely love doing. Let's go Disney Springs, since I kind of brought it up anyway. Disney Springs, I've been going to my whole life again. I used to go when it was called Little Lake Bryant, or Lake Buena Vista, I should say, sorry. Little Lake Bryant is nearby, and I do like going there. Or I used to go there all the time, but that's not the point. I mean, I'm old enough to tell you that I used to go to Discovery Island before they closed it down. I have picture proof, but I'm not going to pull it up or anything because it's not worth it. But yes, I can tell you that I did used to go to Discovery Island. I know what it looks like. And I remember when River Country was open too. Don't think I ever went there though. If I did, I honestly don't remember it. But Fort Wilderness is like one of my favorite resorts by far. Cool resort. But anyway, Once again, saying that word again. As far as Disney Springs goes, I've seen it change so much. Back in the day when I used to go there, we just used to go to hang out in Village Marketplace, go shop at World of Disney, and all that fun stuff. And then I started going later on in life when I was friends with my bisexual friend Chad. This is kind of right when I was starting to live my life in a really weird way that was not glorifying to God. We used to hang out at the Lava Lounge right next door to the Rainforest Cafe, and they would have the football games or something like that playing. And he got me hooked on this thing called screwdriver. It's basically orange juice and vodka. That's all it is. And I absolutely love spending my money on that kind of thing. Though I would sometimes get a soda and a water or something like that. And we just sat there and talked. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sitting there and talking to your friend, but did I really necessarily need to sit there and drink alcohol? No. Do I still drink? Yes. That's something I've been unfortunately doing since the day I literally turned 21. I slammed my ID down and said, I'm legal. I want a beer. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've been drinking for 7 years now. My brother hasn't even touched alcohol once, though I like to tease him that, and this is an inside joke between TJ and I too, that my brother had alcohol at Hollywood Studios last year when we went to Stars Galaxy's Edge, the blue milk. It did have a little bit of alcohol in it, but my brother said it doesn't count, so I'll let him slide. Though it's still funny to me. Well, the thing with Disney Springs is I feel like when I was friends with Chad, I was mainly going just to hang out at Rainforest Cafe, and that was around the time I was driving out there a lot just to go watch movies. I watched Big Hero 6 there, I watched Coco there. I spent a lot of time at Disney at that time. I'm not saying I didn't spend a lot of time at Disney when I was friends with TJ, but I think I started coming more to my senses at that point, and I started watching more movies close to home, and I wasn't driving out there as often as I used to. And when I became friends with TJ and we got interested in Disney Springs, you want to know what we do? We walk around and we do construction updates. We just kind of walk around. We go over to Village Marketplace. We walk into World of Disney. We go over to Ghirardelli and we get our free chocolate. And that's really about it. We spend a couple of hours there, but do we really go over there to spend money? That's the one thing I truly appreciate about TJ, because TJ likes to spend money, but TJ is also very frugal too. I think that's why our friendship has lasted for the past 7 years, because not only do TJ and I get along a lot of things, not only do TJ and I love each other like brothers from another mother, but also the fact that TJ knows that there's a time to spend money and there's a time to work and there's a time to save money. And TJ and I both agree that sometimes it's fun to spend a little money on something, but most of the time when we do stuff, it's very cheap. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of the stuff I planned for I almost said next month, for the in about 16 days or so. It's like, man, I'm glad it's not next month. I almost forgot it's February 4th already. I'm like, oh shoot, that's right. I'm going to be leaving in 16 days for Florida. Like, what am I saying? I mean, a lot of the stuff that we have planned in the next couple of weeks are going to be really cheap. I mean, I'll just remind you guys again. Monday, I have us planned to go to Red Robin. TJ wholeheartedly agrees. He has a free birthday burger. See, TJ's being frugal. And I usually order something cheap. And you know what's funny? TJ also likes the same exact thing. And he doesn't have a problem with that. And when we go to Red Robin, do we necessarily buy money or spend money on soda or whatever? Not always. Sometimes. Most of the time, we just get the burger and a water. That's it. And we do usually buy an O-ring shorty or something to that extent. But honestly, we don't spend a lot of money. when we go out to eat. When we go over to Frostbite, it's a very cheap place. If you guys watch the YouTube video at all by chance, it's in my random videos playlist. We usually go over and we spend money on like burger, fries. Actually, the fries come free. We on the odd occasion we get an appetizer. We usually will get an ice cream. Well, usually that's usually a couple bucks, but once again, we don't spend a lot of money there. Wednesday, we're going to Manny's to do the buy one get one free fajitas. I'm planning on paying for both my fajita and his fajita. It shouldn't even cost me that much. That's actually going to be really cheap. But let's just skip ahead. So the only expensive meal I have planned that entire trip is at Boma. That's it. And Sunday's TJ's cooking, and he likes to cook, and he's actually a really good cook. So I guess the girl he's currently dating is in good hands. Though I've heard she likes to cook too. So I guess they both are meant for each other, from my understanding anyway. Let me check and see. This water's so cold. Thank goodness, because I need to take my epilepsy medication soon. Yes, I do have more disabilities than I usually talk about. So as far as Universal, what do I like about going there? Well, let's just talk about the past 6 years, because that's when I've truly started appreciating Universal. I have always loved going to Universal specifically just for the Harry Potter stuff. TJ does like Harry Potter, which is a surprise to me. I feel like he doesn't like it as much as I do, but I know that we both enjoy it. TJ and I are also huge roller coaster junkies. So that's why we also go to Universal. Like this trip, like in 20 days from tomorrow, we're gonna go straight to Velocicoaster, like hands down. Then we're gonna go straight to Hagrid's. TJ agreed with me. That's gonna be the very first two attractions we're gonna go to. We're gonna go right to Velocicoaster, then we're gonna go right to Hagrid's, hands down. And then he would like to go on Forbidden after that. So it's like three major rides back to back to back. If I'm not puking by the end of those three rides, I don't know what's wrong with me. Depending on how busy it is at that time. Hopefully it will be pretty quiet in 20 days. But I guess I'll see. And TJ and I both love the butterbeer. Like, every now and then, which is usually only once a year for me, I personally don't mind buying the butterbeer. Even though it's like $7. It's so good. That's another one of the things I love about Universal. And I always love going on Forbidden Journey because the castle line is so cool. Even if I cannot ride on the ride for whatever reason, I want to walk through the line still because it's a very interesting line. It's one of those lines that you have to walk through at least once to really appreciate it. TJ and I both have agreed that Hogwarts is not worth it unless it's a short wait. Then we're like, oh, okay, we'll make an exception. But normally it has a long wait, so we usually end up walking anyway. We also love going to Marvel Superhero Island. We both love getting the Coca-Cola, bring the Coca-Cola Freestyle cups with us, and because we get dehydrated easily. So we usually will stop constantly and fill up our cups. We always like to go on the Spider-Man ride. I don't think he's ever been on the Hulk. The Hulk is one of my favorite rides at Universal. It has been for several years now. It's a very enjoyable ride. I've rode it on it more since the update than before the update. Isn't that weird? Probably because that's when I finally came out of, or decided to, well, I shouldn't say came out, but that's when I finally decided to come around to it. I don't like to use the word term come out because I'm not gay, and I choose not to be gay. I know it sounds like I'm gay because of how close TJ and I are, but I promise you, I'm anything but that. I mean, come on, he's attracted to another woman. He only is attracted to women. I'm only attracted to women. I just have really close friendships of guys, but I'm not gay. I promise. So, and I'm serious when I say that. Though I do enjoy going to you know, Universal with him very, very much. So, I will not deny that. But anyway, I just and not just Universal, but Disney too. But I feel like Universal is where he and I just have the best time. I also love going to the original park. I think he and I personally prefer the original park. We absolutely love a lot of the same things. We both love the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. I mean, if you've seen a video of us, which I seriously don't think you have, there's the tall, skinny guy that's like getting all excited about the roller coaster. He's got his arms up, and then you got me, the big fat guy. And then I just like to joke around with him. Look, there's a fat guy enjoying a roller coaster, pointing at myself. Like, oh, nothing like watching a fat guy enjoy his coaster. We both absolutely love that ride. I absolutely love the fact that you can select what music you want to listen to. I switch it up a lot, but lately I've been choosing the same one because I really like to listen to "Give Me All Your Loving" by ZZ Top every time I ride that roller coaster, and it's such a fun coaster. I keep my arms up the entire time. Like that coaster does not bother me, even though you're going like ridiculously fast. I absolutely love that roller coaster. And then we also love going over to the Jimmy Fallon ride. We've been pretty much going since it was before it started opening for or open officially. We went on opening day too. On top of that, we love the Mummy ride. The Mummy ride has been one of my favorites. I've ridden that so many times now. It's not even funny. Like it got to the point where the queue line was getting boring. It got to the point where the part at the very end before, as far as I know, they're redoing it right now, where the guy calls out and says, "Hey, I hope you enjoyed this ride." I love that part. Like I literally one time was on that ride and I got to the very end. I started copying every single word and I got it spot on. Someone just started bursting out of laughter. I was like, "Oh, cool! I must have done a really good job." I mean, I would hope that they're laughing at the fact that I nailed it, not at the video, because I was yelling loud enough that you could hear me over it. I'm surprised no Universal team member got mad and go, "Don't talk over the video," you know? I don't think they really care, personally. We also love going on the Transformers ride, even though it's like mainly screens. I always have loved going on the Transformers ride. It's been one of my go tos. Even when I went by myself, I would just go through the single rider and just hop right on. I mean, personally, I like the Spider Man ride better, but I love the Transformers ride. I've been on that ride so many times that the queue line is boring to me now. As I pretty much can almost repeat every single thing. I already know the whole story behind the Transformers ride. I've wrote it a gazillion times, so to speak. Then I go over to Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley is by far my favorite of the two. Between Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, Diagon Alley is my personal favorite. It's so well done. Even though the ride, Escape from Gringotts, is not as good as the Forbidden Journey, it's still a good ride. I love that ride. Child abduction, Amber Alert in Bardstown, Kentucky. That's not good. Let's pray for that for sure. And it's so late at night. It's already after 11. And then I always loved going Men in Black. TJ and I absolutely love Men in Black. Men in Black is one of those rides we have to do every single time. And TJ got really good at it. I'm not that good at it, but I enjoy it. I cannot stand the spinning, so when it spins, I close my eyes, and it doesn't bother me as much. I couldn't ride that like multiple times in a row just because of the spinning, but I enjoy it all the same. It's a very enjoyable ride. I feel like I'm always trying to get better at it every single time. I personally do skip the Simpsons ride just because I think it's pure crap, but that's just me. Um, on the odd occasion, I will go on ET. I know there's going to be people out there that love the ET ride. Go boo, hiss, how dare you skip ET? It's like ET is a great ride to me personally, but it does not have the same impact that the Jaws ride had. I loved the Jaws ride when Universal was younger and it had the Jaws ride. It was a family favorite, and we rode it every single time. We would wait an hour. We did not care. It was that good. Now this trip to Universal, I'm going to be making a special trip over to see the Bourne Spectacular for the first time. This is a show my cousin is a manager at now. He's been asking me for 2 years now to go see the show. So I'm finally like, you know what? I'm going to go and see it. So I'm at least finally making that effort to go and see it. It's the least I could do. After putting it off for 2 years. Who does that anyway? Oh, me. And I always loved. I mean, you guys saw my Volcano Bay video. I personally loved Volcano Bay. I was very impressed by it. And you can learn more about that in my Volcano Bay YouTube videos and my reaction to it. And I still strongly agree to this day that I feel the same way about Volcano Bay. It was a very well done water park. City Walk is so cool. I love everything about City Walk. I love the restaurants, the atmosphere. I love going to the Universal hotels from time to time. I did all those videos, and you can watch them anytime you want under my Universal Orlando Resort Hotel playlist. I encourage you to check it out. It's only 3 years old, so it's not like that's that old. But that pretty much leads me to the conclusion of so what do I like better, Disney or Universal? I would say I like Disney better for the memorabilia, the nostalgia, the memories, the entertainment. As far as what do I like better overall, probably Universal just because of the fact that I'm at that age where I just personally like adrenaline rushes. I mean, not to the point where I'm going to go to Fun Spot and get on the Sky Sling. The basically it's a giant swing that does this number to you, and you go back and forth, and they raise you up super super high. There's no way I'm ever going to go that far. I would even go over to iDrive and get on the ball that spins you and bounces you up and down. There is a limit to what I will get on and what I will not get on. If I really want to get on a Sky Sling, I go over to Kings Island this year and get on that thing and pay like $5 for it. But I ain't gonna because I'm not that crazy. Like when I say I like adrenaline rushes, I mean roller coasters, launch free falls, and 3D simulator rides like Transformers and Spider Man, stuff like that. That's the kind of things that I enjoy doing. But if it involves making your body vomit like crazy, like there are rides at rides at Kings Island, like the Monster, which is your carnival thrill ride. No, I won't even get on their drop tower. I mean, that's to me going too far. I will not go that far. I won't even get on their. Um, they have this ride where that takes you up like ridiculously high. I did a YouTube video on it last year. It's over by, um, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, and um, the Orion coaster. It's that um, tower or whatever that thingamajigger, so to speak. I won't even go on that. Like usually when I tell people I'm an adrenaline junkie, I don't mean to the extreme. Like I would say I'm if it involves a roller coaster, I for the most part I don't care. Most roller coasters I will go on, but when it comes to thrill rides, I'm a little more careful. Like I love launch free falls up to a point. I wouldn't even go on Falcon's Fury. I got asked 2 years ago if I wanted to go on it, and I have another chance again in less than 20 days. No, I ain't not going to. I will go on a lot of their coasters though. I would love to go on Iron Gwazi, but I will not touch Falcon's Fury. I won't even touch a couple of their roller coasters over there. There's a couple of roller coasters in Busch Gardens I won't even personally touch. Like I said, I enjoyed most roller coasters, but there are some that I'm like, no, you can stay away. Tigress at Busch Gardens, no, definitely not. But I love Cheetah Hunt though. That's a good roller coaster. That's one of my favorites, if not my favorite at Busch Gardens. But it's getting extremely late, and my YouTube video is getting extremely long, so I personally hope that I was able to tell you guys a good chunk about what I love about Walt Disney World and what I love about Universal Orlando Resort. And just 16 more days, and then unfortunately be putting on a face mask and boarding a plane to Central Florida. And just ready for a whole week. I'm gonna add it to my Central Florida vlogs as well as the appropriate vlogs that they or playlists I should say that they belong to. Super super excited. Not too much longer. We're almost there. And I do have to work tomorrow, but I will be home Sunday through Tuesday, and then the following Sunday through Tuesday, which is Super Bowl Sunday, and then I will just be home after that, the 20th, and then I will be leaving on the 21st. So, yeah, as far as my time off goes, I have 1 day left. I mean, I have 3 more days. Well, actually, 7 more days exactly of time off here at the house and in Kentucky. And then, as far as work before I leave, I have 1 day left this week, 4 days next week. That's five plus another four. That's 9 days. 9 days of work and 7 days of time off. That's not terrible at all. And that's just within the next 16 days. And I'm not even necessarily counting the 21st. If I were, I mean, I might be actually. If I were not counting the 21st, then I really only have, let's see here. Tomorrow's the 5th. I would have exactly, um, 15 days. Now that I think about that, why did it take me so long to think? Oh well. But yeah, I'll see what YouTube videos I can get uploaded next week to YouTube. Work on my high school days playlist some more. My high school days playlist some more. And if you're in the greater Cincinnati area, just please continue to be safe this weekend. And, Lord willing, the snow and ice will start to melt quickly by Sunday. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night. Peace out.